बीच में लोगों ने बहुत सोशल मीडिया पे बहसें शुरू हो गई कि क्या है ये हमारे सनातन धर्म के बारे में कुछ अपमानित करेंगे। मैं अपनी अपब्रिंगिंग और अपनी परवरिश से मैं उस बात को जोड़ रहा हूँ कि हमारे होते हुए संभव ही नहीं है कि कुछ उटपटांग कहानी में हो जाए।
Imagine a movie that focuses on the importance of sex education in this country, on how essential it is for children in their teenage years as minors to know several terms which may be considered for most as taboo in the public space, and you write the social commentary as a well intentioned, layered, and an effective courtroom drama. You did everything right. You did your research. You integrated themes of religion with so much respect. You formulated such a brilliant set of actors. So, what does the body that is responsible for making sure that the vision of the creator goes out to the public as close to what they originally envisioned? It absolutely obliterates that vision with censorship, overwhelms the creator with several changes with the assumption that there will be outrage otherwise. It is representative of a body that bore the brunt of approving a colossal misfire like Adipurush as it was, and took that disastrous event as the sign for change for everyone. I was speaking to Shan Prashar recently on his podcast, Honestly Saying, which you should definitely check out. And he said that the internet penetration has gone to the roots of the country, meanwhile, education and literacy hasn't. And I think this may be true for the censor board too. Oh My God 2 is the underdog of the weekend, a movie that barely had a marketing run for the several complications it had to deal with before its release. But I am here to tell you that it may just be one of the most impactful and important films to come out from Hindi cinema in 2023. I was thinking that this was going to be the dark horse of the weekend of releases, but you can't blame me for managing my expectations. Because of the last few ventures involving Akshay Kumar, it however has shaped up so beautifully as a film, it makes me think about the hypothetical that if this film had a solo release and an absence of this unnecessary back and forth with the censor board, it would have actually caused so many waves compared to the understated release it has today. The case of pre-release outrage continues where the chatter is inundated with assumptions about the film, chatter amongst people who hilariously haven't seen the film. The marketing snippets of the film have worked effectively in keeping several plot points at bay for you to exclusively experience in the theaters. I'll try my best to work around the key details and effectively expand on why I was deeply impacted by this tale. The movie focuses on Kanti Sharan Mudgal, played by Pankaj Tripathi, a loyal devotee of Lord Shiv who manages a store and leads a simple and earnest life with his wife and kids. Unfortunately, one day he is informed that his son Vivek is getting expelled from school due to immoral activities, and Kanti's exploration of the same as a father and more importantly as an individual transitions to become a courtroom drama as a father takes on the case against those in positions of power who should be reprimanded for this outcome. Of an impressionable child and misinformation, of the lack of practical knowledge in our formative years in school, of the pseudoscience that is expelled as gospel truth, and ironically so, the restrictive mindset of the most populous country in the world. I was so ecstatic stepping into a packed theatre for this film. Adults, couples, families all gathered here for what the censor board described as only appropriate for adults. The important point to explore is that there is not a single moment, yes, truly, not a single moment where I squirmed or felt uncomfortable at the supposed taboo subjects being explored in this film. This is indicative of those in power considering the audience to be naive and immature in imbibing such themes. This is the same country that has celebrated films like Vicky Donor that explored sperm donation, Pink that shed light on sexual abuse and consent, Shubh Mangal Savdhan with a plotline of erectile dysfunction, and most recently Janat Mein Jari that unabashedly spoke about safe sex and condoms. The audience is not naive, and when presented with a well-packaged and even complex film, it has the capability to imbibe, decipher, and spread the word about it. I can't help but rave about Pankaj Tripathi in this film. He is a conservative man who is subservient, and when he experiences a curveball like the predicament his son is in, his first thought is to discipline him. But what's beautiful about Kanti Sharan is that he's essentially a sponge who is willing to learn from those around him, and because of this nature, he approaches his son with softness and empathy. We also join him on this journey, exploring these supposed prohibited topics with the same wonder and naivety. The command Pankaj Tripathi has on the language is something to marvel at. Diction so profound you can listen to him for days. And if someone were to take the mantle of an already popular franchise, who better than Pankaj Tripathi himself? Akshay Kumar as Lord Shiv's messenger shares great chemistry with Pankaj Tripathi. He never takes center stage. His appearances are only to aid the screenplay, and the divine intervention that Kanti Sharan constantly stumbles upon leads to several life-altering moments. It was truly lovely to see Akshay in this role, and even though it slightly bummed me out that they changed his character and some dialogues fearing backlash, you can clearly tell in some cases the mouth is saying something but the dialogues are coming out different. I can truly say he lends a dignity and grace to this role. The supporting characters of this film also fit so perfectly in this world. Vivek, played by Arush Varma, Kanti's son, consumed by guilt and shame, really showcases the ostracization one feels at that age, especially at a time where school, the students, and your everyday interactions are your entire world. How an individual becomes a shell of his former self is really well portrayed by the young actor. Yami Gautam as the lawyer Kanti goes up against is formidable as well. I absolutely love the choices Yami makes creatively because you know it will always be someone who has stake in the matter. Even though her strut is often assisted with a generic villain background score, it was quite refreshing to see it aiding a woman for a change. Pawan Malhotra as the judge, so proud to have a packed house in his court that he ends up taking selfies to gloat, is hilarious as well. Vijendra Kala as usual is effortless with his comic timing, an actor who just doesn't miss in several fictional worlds we have seen him in. Even Kanti's wife, played by Geeta Agarwal, is absolutely spot on. A naive, emotional and extremely expressive housewife who just wants to have an understanding of what's happening around her. She really has one of the most hilarious sequences in the film. Imagine a movie so understated and dealing with such sensitive topics actually generating several mass moments of hooting, clapping and cheering in theatres. And credit has to go to Amit Rai, who is the writer and director of this film. The film provides a reflection of our society on how we are quick to judge and pass statements without contemplating about the consequences. Shaming and naming is sadly a sport today. A comment is passed, a video is posted, a scathing DM is sent, and it has become the nature of us as humans, desensitized about the repercussions or the impact it has on others. The film sheds light on mental health and the debilitating effects of isolation and trauma, the dissemination of pornography, and the lack of awareness one has of its dire consequences. The film speaks about our progressive past as a nation, the backward notions that were placed on us through the Victorian influence, and how we forget we come from the land whose writings on sexual identity and exploration paved the way to be celebrated internationally today. The film gets into its nitty-gritties unapologetically. It doesn't shy away from saying the words we are told to hush in drawing room discussions, and this is why the film is a cut above the rest. सारी बातें गंदी, अश्लील, वल्गर, इनअप्रोप्रिएट हर विषय पर रिएक्शन या शॉक के लिए नहीं, सरल रूप से आपको ये बताने के लिए कि मुंह फेरने से कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं मिलता. It is intended to educate, make you introspect, and the target audience it is meant for ironically cannot even legally watch it. Wow. It's essentially the state of our country today, right? दूसरी तरफ देखो क्या ही बदल जाएगा. जब तक अपनी जिंदगी में सब चंगा चल रहा है ना, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. तब ये डिस्टेंस रखना ना बड़ा कन्वीनियंट होता है. तब पता चलता है जब ये सेम प्रॉब्लम आपके घर में एक दिन प्रवेश करेगी. तब क्या? The film exactly addresses that. Holds you by the collar, commands your attention, and seeks answers from you. I have so much respect for Akshay Kumar for producing such a film, sticking by it for a theatrical release, and the leads like Pankaj Tripathi and Yami Gautam for essaying such roles with conviction. This is the movie to see this weekend.